Mr. Steers, as he happens to be sitting. Alright, so I'm here. We've been working this week on just some open guard basics. Obviously, with Saturday's competition, I want to go over a few things that are useful, not just from open guard, but guard in general. So I'm here, I get the grips of my choice: pistol, cuff, reverse wrist, wrist grip. I don't care what you grab with. Grab a grip. Gi, no gi. Gi, no gi, I don't care. Grips here, grips here. You can even go tricep grip if you're good at it. I don't prefer it though. I'm here, I get my wrist grips, I shrimp, driving both knees to center. I get feet on the hips. One of the things I was noticing on Tuesday, a lot of us were trying to have our feet kind of vertical here. I want to have them on that angle, almost like I'm a bikini strap coming in with my heels. You'll all know what I'm talking about. It's the easy way to do it. Austin, don't laugh. It's funny. Boom, I'm here. You get your heels in, boom. I get to a hip. I don't care which hip you dominate with. I'm generally going to be on my left hip because it makes my right hand do most of the work. Boom, I'm here. The other thing I was noticing, regardless of technique, guys, realize we don't just get here and then go, all right, cool, scissor sweep or triangle. Realize I'm using this guard to off balance, push in, pull in, doing things to Austin so that he's not comfortable here. So I'm using this, all of my grips, motion, and that distance management with my feet to keep him off balance. Now, once we're here, boom, I'm going to open to the side that I want to sweep to. This wrist, I'm trying to pull across to my shoulder here. As I'm doing that, I'm going to drop this leg low. A lot of us on Tuesday, for whatever reason, were like mid-thigh chopping him. I'm trying to almost hit this like a skipping stone on the ground. It should hit the ground, hook that knee, and come into him here. This leg, I'm kicking up. This wrist, I'm pulling up. As we hit that, boom. Traditional scissor sweep that we've hit from 1,000 other places, just hitting it from open guard this time. I'm here. Boom, we're in guard, I'm working. I get here, I'm off balancing, I'm working. Pull, chop, kick, pull. Following him to mount, settle into mount, face out, do what you need to do, score your points. Questions on this? Like I said, biggest thing to address from Tuesday that I was noticing. One, you're not just laying flat and then doing this. Move a little bit, push, pull, get them off balance first. The other thing, make sure we're chopping a little bit lower than we were and we're pulling that arm across. All right? Questions? Fill her out. 1, 2, 3. I get my grips, regardless what they are. Right? For those of you who are wondering, no-gi, easiest grip here is going to be coming to that ape hanger tricep grip here. And working off this. Now, for this next move, I'm still looking to off balance. I'm still looking to move him right. Boom, I'm here. I'm going to stretch him out that little bit, and I'm going to come back with my foot here. Now, I'm going to pull him forward, but I have to reach with my hips here. The biggest mistake people make with this is, when they get here is they just try to pull him in. When I'm here, I have to reach with my hips and snap him into me here on this triangle. Now, once you get to this position, finish your standard triangle, pass the arm, cut the angle, squeeze, pull the neck, right? Same thing on this one though. We're here, I get to my grips, I'm off balancing, boom. I'm here, I'm going to pull both grips towards me, but as I do that, I'm lifting my hips up to meet him. Boom. That, and another thing I was noticing on our triangles a lot, if I get this arm across here, a lot of us were trying to lock our triangle too early. Like a lot of you guys would get the arm across, then you'd be like, oh yay, triangle. You're like, why isn't my triangle working? Why isn't it tight? Why isn't it? Because you're doing it way too early. Once I get here, guys, I'm still keeping my thighs tight. But I have to cut this angle and see how my foot is pointing across Austin's shoulder and back. It has to be in line with his shoulder for a good triangle. Once it's there, then trig or geometry or whatever the math word is of the day, that's when that shit starts to work better. Because it's multiple dimensions, right? Right, I'm smart.
Yeah, you got it.
I scored well on an SAT once, so I'm here, right? I have to make that angle in line here, because if not, all I'm doing is I'm putting a lot of pressure on that shoulder. The second it cuts and gets to there, a lot tighter, a lot quicker.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you have to be looking for, is cutting that angle off to where your shin and shoulders are in line. All right, so 2 biggest things still today. Big bite with the hips to pull him in, and cutting that angle before you fully lock in your triangle. And once again, do not lock your triangle on your foot. Ankle, arch the foot up, you know.
When you're on the opposite hand, when you're going across, can you keep that on their arm to keep it across their body?
Make sure I'm hearing you right. So, when I'm here, boom, I get to the triangle. Which hand?
Your right hand can stay on his wrist, keep that across as you cut the angle and go over his head to grab.
Yeah, if you like to hold that grip, yeah, there's nothing wrong about holding this grip. Not mission critical to my success. Obviously, you have to keep his arm across, but I don't have to hold the wrist. But yeah, if you like holding this, nothing wrong with using that to tighten you up.
Makes it easier to turn it into an arm bar too.
Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, obviously the other thing is if you want to go double attack here. So let's say you're going here, and you want to go, because enemies and, you know, things of that nature, you can. It's not a bad option to hold that wrist. The other reason, if I'm going to hold this wrist, the reason I'm going to do it here is because I'm going to come over the top of it and try to hey girl it. That would be what I'm trying to do here. Or I'm using it to help myself cut an angle. But yeah, not wrong to hold that wrist across if you like it.
It'd be embarrassing to get hey girl from the triangle.
I like to hey girl people from unexpected positions because I don't like people. Sometimes I need enemies in life.
If you get that down on your hip enough that you're almost hold that arm in place anyway with just your hip and your
your hips. If you have his arm truly tucked, most people are going to fight you to get that arm, not let that arm get across.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can truly tuck it, it sits into your hip pocket almost.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, not wrong to hold that wrist if you like it.
Okay.
Other questions on this, guys? Like I said, triangle's a basic submission. It's simple but not easy to get all the details right. And realize the difference in between a triangle that takes 15 to 30 seconds to finish and the ones that guys make sound effects when you're finishing is details, not magic. Those details are what make the difference there. So make sure we're cutting our angles, getting our shin in line, we're hammering that heel down. When I'm here, I'm not just locking on my ankle and arching this foot up, I'm hammering that heel down and out. See how that makes the little hole his head should be in a lot smaller? Hammering it down helps a lot. Hammering it out is just that last little, you know, that fuck you bit that you need.
Will you do it again holding the tricep?
Triceps, yeah. So for me, if I'm no-gi, I'm doing triceps here, boom, here, bop, grabbing up. Everything else is the same. Boom here. Remember, if you're having problems cutting your angle with just the foot, this hand, if you're not using it here, can scoop here or here. Or if you're civilized, you can grab belt. A couple different angles to cut there. We'll make sure we're cutting that angle, locking our triangles properly. That's the number one mistake I see for a lot of people is they try to lock the triangle while they're head on with people. So they'll be here and they'll be like, oh, I have 0% of an angle cut. This is perfect to finish a triangle. It's like, yeah, you may finish shitty people from there. But realize we're not going to bad tournaments. We're not going to, you know, taking bad matches. We're facing good people 99% of the time. All right. Other questions? Uno, dos, tres. On this triangle, guys, one thing I'm noticing is our knee line's a little bit off with our bite leg. So whenever I'm trying to triangle Austin, I'm trying to put the pit of his neck in the pit of my knee here. So when I jump this up, see how my knee is just slightly above his shoulder? A lot of us are, for whatever reason, leaving our knee just a bit shallow here, to where it's making it hard to get like your angles cut and all that. I have to really bite deep with that shin and that knee so that my knee is just a bit above his shoulder line here. It's going to help a lot of you, especially those of us who are not gifted with height. If you are shorter limbed, proportionally for my height, my legs aren't very long. So I have to really bite deep with that to be able to get that triangle right. So make sure we're really cutting for that, because that's going to help a lot of the things downhill from that. Your angle, your lock, all those other things will be a lot tighter and a lot more efficient once you get this knee in the correct position. Because I really have to bite here, because if not, if I'm here, it just gives him a lot of space just to kind of, maybe not escape, but survive it. And I don't want that. I want to really bite that down. So if you're going for a triangle, let's say you get here and you're like, man, my knee's just not in position. Realize you can pull him down, grab your shin, grab your pants here. I'll even grab like my opposite side here to really bite that deeper. So that way you can recut that knee. If you don't get it on that initial kind of hip explosion where your knee's not in line, readjust. Take the time to readjust there. It'll make your life 100 times simpler once you actually start going for the triangle to finish. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, so now on the Omo. So we're here, boom. Remember, omoplatas are my favorite sweep from here. So I get here, boom. I'm going to kick my leg through. I'm gonna pull his wrist up and then try to tuck it behind my hip here. As I do that, you'll feel the point, and when you run out of angle cut with this leg push, as soon as that happens, I'm going to trap his elbow, and I'm reaching to grab something over here. I don't care if it's this ankle, that hip, his belt, pants, something in between his ass and the middle of his back needs grabbed and helping yourself swing through. You cross your feet, hammer your heels. Do not figure four right here, or I have to punch Carson in the face. It's tragic. I happened to be looking at him when I needed someone to punch, and it happens to be him today. So, hammer your heels. Now, options bar once you get here. Option A, you finish the submission that is the omoplata. You scoot your hips away, break him down. Figure four, whisper something weird in his ear so that his shoulder hurts enough and he feels awkward, right? Now Austin comes back to his hips here. Boom. Let's say you're just not confident in omoplatas, because a lot of people can defend them pretty easily. All they have to do is slip this elbow out. And omoplatas are no longer available to you until you re-get that elbow. But always realize there is a wrist lock here, because in life you need more enemies, and I believe they are illegal at Guerrilla Warfare. I'm looking at tournament director, CEO of Guerrilla Warfare to confirm.
With the commission, and yes.
So, make sure you can always think of that wrist lock. Other option, realize all you have to do, drag this top leg out, boom, start attacking that back. I always like to set up the omoplata. Most good people are going to pop that elbow out. The second their elbow comes out and they start to limp arm out, you just take the back.
When the elbow slips out, how do you pull the elbow back through and still hang on to the hip without losing the elbow?
I'm here. I'm going to do it no-gi because that's the harder version of it, right? So boom, Austin doesn't suck. He pops his elbow out, right? All we're going to look to do, find his wrist. I'm trying to yank it into this hip bone.
I do that, and I feel like when I do that, somehow I lose grip on this. What are they doing that happens?
They're trying to walk their hips away from you. What most people are going to try to do is couple fold. One, if you don't hip grab, they're going to do a forward roll and then you're done. You just follow them and you have to do something else. But what most people are going to try to do, if you're here and you have a good hip seat belt here, they're going to try to walk their hip this way and try to start dropping this elbow out, which is why you feel like you're losing this and this at the same time.
Okay.
So if they start really trying to walk their hips away, I'm just going to monkey grab the back of their elbow like we do when we monkey paw over. Same thing. I'm going to monkey paw there. If I'm really committed to finishing the Omo there, that's going to be how I finish it. And as they start walking their hips away, I'm going to let them. And I'm going to hip into them to finish that way. If they're really committed to the bit of going that direction, that's going to be, I'm going to let them go that direction and hip over and follow it. Question.
When you go to finish omoplata,
Yes.
instead of figure fouring, what's the difference between figure fouring and just doing a
So he goes hips flat here.
right?
Boom.
Instead of figure fouring, yeah.
You can go here.
That was my question. What is there any difference between?
Operatively, if you're as tight as you can be here, no. Most people have a real problem keeping the elbow, they'll end up like this,
Yeah,
which is where you run into the problem.
Right.
So if you're gonna go to where your like S sit, the S mount sit is the easiest example of this. I'm going to lift this up to really cut here, but this I'm gonna drag up my shin bone,
yeah.
kind of pushing that up, because that's gonna tighten that up and to where it's tight to my thigh here. That's gonna be operatively the only difference is once I get them flat, I'm gonna really kind of pull this up and commit to that, as opposed to coming here.
Because when I'm doing that, I'm almost trying to get underneath that arm
Yeah.
with the close leg, with your right leg.
Yeah.
I almost try to get my leg up under, and then I almost sit myself up.
Yeah,
Does
if
that
I,
make sense what I'm saying?
yeah, so the problem that a lot of people run into with the figure 4 here, because I think if I'm understanding your problem right, is you get here and then it gets hard to kind of get up almost.
No, I don't go to the figure 4 in general. I just want to know if there's any major difference.
As long as you get the top thigh into position, perfect. Keep your knees pinched, break their arm anyway. Perfect, perfectly acceptable option. The biggest thing is
You have
make
to
sure
control
this leg is becomes the operative leg at that point. So we talk about operative hands, this is the leg putting the most pressure on at this point. So the second I lose that elbow here, it's in, it might work, but if Austin really started to drop this elbow out and really, it's not going to be great for me. Where I get this thigh in position, I just have to look at Austin and it's in.
Oh, I'm scared.
And so that's the difference is this thigh position is going to be the operative key at that point once you get here. Now, if you get here and for whatever reason they got Gumby arms, Jordan's really bad about this, he's just got Gumby fucking everything. Boom, you can still clear and take the top here. But yeah, that's going to be, that thigh in that S seat is going to be here. It's fine, you just have to make sure that top leg's in position.
The second part of it was when you first lock in, when you first step over for the omoplata, I go with the foot in front of the face and almost lock it in that position until I can get the hip to help control the
Make sure I'm hearing you right.
posture.
So I'm here and you're trying to put this in front of his face.
Yeah, as I'm coming around.
You can. Whole lot of can I get my foot there is going to be the problem. Because think about this, especially at the purple belt and up level.
I just didn't, I end up in that.
Yeah, if your
Just
foot
from the
ends
way-
up here, not a
from the way I'm-
problem.
From the way I'm swinging through, I end up in that position.
Same thing.
Yeah, if your foot ends up here, not a problem. I wouldn't reach for it this way.
Right.
Because I want my weight in front of him.
Yes.
Because most good purple and up post their outside hand and foot, they're going to be posturing up. You have to get your weight out in front of their shoulder to stop that pressure. Because someone good's going to be able to counter that. Now, your foot ends up in front of their face as you're swinging through. I'm not, is it the worst thing since, anything? No, but not what I'm looking for. Not wrong, not optimal, would be my concern.
Did you roll through? Can you keep the kind of like
Austin?
grip with your legs and like get on top of them?
So Austin rolls through here.
It's an arm bar.
You just stay and you let them roll and you break their arm for them. Most people overthink the room on that. As long as you don't lose the elbow, there's an arm bar.
I've just seen some people just shift from there, and I was wondering why they didn't just arm bar. I don't know.
Because YouTube Jiu-Jitsu is very popular.
Yeah,
A lot of YouTube creators don't focus on fundamentals.
so they can't just like straight up hitchhiker from there. Like,
Yeah, it's not the easiest armbar in the world to finish because if I'm here with Austin, right? Boom. Boom, I get here. Austin's good. He rolls. Boom. You have to get this knee down
Yeah.
here and then through. Now, he can still hitchhiker here, but
Yeah.
you're balls deep already, so it's going to be there.
You can sit straight up with that too and get a stupid arm bar.
Yeah, there's a dozen different options from there if you follow it, and don't panic.
At least that's what I did.
Yeah, stupid armbar is a great option for man one. So if we're here, just so you guys see it, I go here, he forward rolls here.
No, I'm talking about the one where you actually sit up on his shoulder.
Oh, I'm not good at that one, to be honest with you. But yeah, you can just sit up and follow it, and it's real nasty in a
Are
hurry.
you, when you sit up on that,
Yeah,
are you pulling straight up?
yeah, it's right there.
Instead of laying back, you're just.
Yeah, I'm just following it through.
Okay.
A lot of violence available from that forward roll. as we talk about always, counter to the counter to the counter till someone dies. It's always jujitsu. I go for the Oma, you go for the forward roll. I go for the armbar, you drop your elbow out. I wrist lock you because prison rules. Alright? So go for the Omo if you're feeling a little frisky and your partner wants to forward roll for you, wherever your surroundings, but feel free to try some of that armbar. 1, 2, 3.